Tommy was a little boy with big dreams. He lived in a small town with his parents and his dog, Max. Every night, Tommy would look up at the sky and see the bright stars shining like diamonds. He loved to imagine what it would be like to fly among them. He wanted to be an astronaut and go to space one day. One night, Tommy asked his dad, "What is it like to be in space?" His dad smiled and said, "Space is a wonderful place. There are no limits, and you can float like a feather. You can see the Earth from far away, and everything looks small. But it's not easy to go there. You have to study a lot and be very brave." Tommy listened carefully and thought, "I will study hard and be brave. I will become an astronaut." From that day on, Tommy was determined to learn everything he could about space. He read books about the moon, the planets, and the stars. He watched videos of astronauts on the International Space Station, floating and working in zero gravity. At school, Tommy's teacher asked the class, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" Some kids said they wanted to be doctors, others said teachers or firefighters. But when it was Tommy's turn, he stood up proudly and said, "I want to be an astronaut and go to space." Some kids laughed and said, "That's too hard. You can't do that." But Tommy didn't listen to them. He believed in his dream. His teacher smiled and said, "If you work hard and never give up, you can achieve anything." Tommy went home that day feeling happy. He knew it would be a long and hard journey, but he was ready for it. Every night before going to bed, he looked at the stars and whispered, "One day, I will be up there." Tommy was now older, and his dream was still strong. He studied hard in school, especially in science and math. His teachers noticed his dedication and encouraged him. "You are doing great, Tommy. Keep it up," they said. He joined the school's science club and even built his own model rocket. It didn't fly very high, but Tommy was proud of his work. One day, there was a special announcement at school. An astronaut was coming to visit and give a talk. Tommy was so excited. He couldn't wait to meet a real astronaut. The day of the visit finally came. The astronaut's name was Captain Stevens. He had been to space 3 times. Captain Stevens told the students all about his adventures in space. He talked about the feeling of weightlessness, the beauty of seeing the Earth from space, and the hard work it took to become an astronaut. "You have to study a lot, stay healthy, and never give up," he said. After the talk, Tommy got a chance to ask Captain Stevens a question. "Sir," he stood up and asked, "What should I do to become an astronaut like you?" Captain Stevens smiled and said, "You have to keep dreaming and working hard. Don't let anyone tell you that you can't do it. Believe in yourself and always keep learning." Tommy felt so inspired. He decided to learn even more about space. He watched documentaries, read more books, and even learned about famous astronauts like Neil Armstrong and Sally Ride. He started doing science experiments at home with his parents' help. He learned how rockets work and even made a small rocket that flew higher than his first one. Tommy's friends started to notice his passion. Some of them even joined him in the science club. Together they did experiments and learned more about space. Tommy was happy because he was not alone in his dream anymore. He had friends who shared his passion. One day, Tommy's teacher told him about a space camp. It was a place where kids could go and learn about space, meet scientists, and even try a space simulator. Tommy's eyes lit up. He wanted to go so badly. His parents saw his excitement and decided to help him go to the camp. At space camp, Tommy learned so much. He got to wear a spacesuit, try a simulator that made him feel like he was in zero gravity, and even build a real rocket. It was the best experience of his life. He knew for sure that he wanted to be an astronaut. When he returned home, he was more determined than ever. He thanked his parents and his teachers for their support. He promised them that he would work even harder. His dream of becoming an astronaut was no longer just a dream. It was his goal. Tommy grew up, graduated high school, with excellent grades in science and math, and was accepted into a university known for its space program. He studied aerospace engineering, working tirelessly to achieve his dream of becoming an astronaut. University life was challenging, but Tommy remembered Captain Stephen's advice: believe in yourself and always keep learning. He joined a team that built a small satellite, and his dedication led to him graduating with honors. Tommy's perseverance paid off when he was accepted into a special astronaut training program. The training was rigorous, involving physical tests, flying airplanes, and underwater exercises to simulate spacewalks. Despite the hardships, Tommy never gave up. One day, he received incredible news. He was selected for a mission to the International Space Station. His childhood dream was about to come true. His family and friends were overjoyed. On the day of the launch, Tommy felt a mix of excitement and nerves as he boarded the rocket. The countdown began. 10, 9, 8. His heart was racing. 7, 6, 5. He took a deep breath. 4, 3, 2, boom. The rocket launched, and Tommy felt the force as he was pushed back into his seat. The Earth became smaller, and smaller as they soared into space. In the weightlessness of space, Tommy was in awe. He looked out the window at the beautiful Earth below, realizing that he had achieved his dream. He spent months on the space station, conducting experiments and marveling at the universe. Every night he gazed at the stars, remembering the little boy who had once dreamed of this moment.